Hello everybody, Assassinator here with Xbox Catchup, where I get you caught up on all things Xbox. So let's go ahead and get started with the main headline, which is the biggest DLC. So the Forza Horizon 5 DLC expansion number 1 released on July 19th, which was earlier this week. I have gameplay on screen right now. This is the second time that Playground Games has collaborated with Hot Wheels and brought us an amazing DLC expansion. The first time was in Forza Horizon 3, where the drivable track was about 115 kilometers. In Forza Horizon 5, this expansion has almost doubled the track space to about 200 plus kilometers. So with 124 miles of new track, new story content, an all new co-op mode, 10 new cars that are Hot Wheel inspired, new biomes, new achievements, all that makes this the biggest Forza Horizon expansion ever. I've already sunk 6 hours into this expansion and I barely scratched the surface of it. But I'm loving every minute of it. In fact, once I post this video, I'll be putting more hours into it. With how amazing this expansion is, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what expansion number 2 is, since by going by the past of Forza Horizon expansions, the second one is usually the biggest and best. So how are they going to top this one? So I personally highly recommend this to any Forza Horizon fan. You should check it out. Now moving on to the news. The Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard could happen sooner than people thought. It's reported that Microsoft has provided the FTC with all the info they required. Now that the FTC has the info, they have about 30 days to make one of 3 choices. The options they have are stop the acquisition with an injunction in court. I find this unlikely since Xbox still won't be the biggest gaming company. I mean, even Sony, who is larger, is acquiring studios, with the most recent being Bungie. Option number 2, let the acquisition go unchallenged, which is what Microsoft and all of us Xbox gamers want. And option number 3, negotiate and add stipulations. I feel that Microsoft announcing that they plan to keep COD on all platforms should be enough, but you never know. I find this very exciting since the FTC could actually approve this sometime in August. But, there's always a but, there are other factors that could delay this, like Microsoft gave the FTC all the required info, but has Activision Blizzard given all the info? If not, then the 30 days hasn't started. And even if the FTC does approve it, we still need to wait and find out what other places like the UK say. But I'm going to stay positive, and as of right now, it seems like a big possibility that this acquisition could be finalized before year end. Then the biggest question I feel for Xbox gamers will be, when will we get games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in Game Pass? Exciting times. Next up, we have a lot of news on Platinum Games, who dropped some news has leaked, so we're going to talk about it all right here. So the info that dropped is that they are working on Project GG, which we all know because they talked about that already. But this will be a game that Platinum wants to self-publish. I don't believe Platinum owns many of their IPs. I mean, they have some iconic IPs that they develop for, but they don't, I think, own them in the end. I mean, Astral Chain, that's owned by Nintendo. Bayonetta, I want to say it's owned by Nintendo, but I'm not exactly sure because I know when it was first released, it was actually for Xbox and PlayStation, but since then, it's kind of become a Nintendo exclusive. So them actually self-publishing and keeping the rights to this game is a good thing, I think, for the studios. It's just now going to be, will it sell good? Will it be an actually good game? Because they're kind of hit or miss. I mean, either they sell it really good or they sell really poorly. They don't really have games that are in the middle. Platinum also mentioned that they are working on a large-scale unannounced IP, and it is rumored that it could be published by a big publisher. And I'll talk a little bit more about who that could be soon. The other info that they said is that they're aiming to staff up and grow to more than 1,000 employees. So they have big things happening there at Platinum. Now the rumors about Platinum, and this is info that was shared on YouTube by an insider who has been reliable in the past, Exodus1, I think is how you say the name, stated that Platinum Games has approached Xbox to publish and finance their next big game, which could be that large-scale unannounced IP that I had mentioned right before that Platinum had mentioned. Now, during that interview, nothing was said if Xbox did agree to it. So the most recent release from Platinum Games was Babylon Falls, which seemed to have been a big flop. I mean, it was a live service game. They're not really used to doing live service games, so that could be what it is. But then I need to bring up that Scalebound was another game that they had worked on, and it was supposed to be for Xbox. It was funded by Xbox, and the game ended up getting canceled because there was too much, development trouble. So not sure if Platinum has just bitten off more than they can chew with kind of saying, yes, we'll do these games for you, and they don't really know exactly how to do it. I mean, Platinum does put out different type games, so that's a good thing, but sometimes if they go a little bit too much, it might end up resulting in a canceled game, and no one wants to see that. So the whole thing with Scalebound being canceled, a lot of Xbox gamers basically feel that Xbox should not work with them again. But Platinum does develop hit games like Bayonetta and Astral Chain. I don't know, maybe it's just Nintendo exclusives they do great with. So I don't know, only time will tell if this rumor was legitimate. But either way it goes, I look forward to seeing what Platinum has in store for us, whether it be exclusive or multi-platform. So next up, Ubisoft held their investor meeting this week, and they had a lot of negative news. I mean, a little bit of positive, but most of it was negative. And so the biggest negative is canceled games, because, I mean, how can you get more negative than that? So there has been 4 games that they announced have been canceled. And the first one is Ghost Recon Frontlines, which was their battle royale that fans didn't seem to really like very much. They felt we didn't really need it, that it was cookie cutter, it did not innovate on anything, and so it was too much like Call of Duty but not as refined. That's kind of what I got from all the feedback. And so it's kind of good that they canceled this one. Go back, look at it, maybe bring it out as something else down the line. But you kind of have to have some, I don't want to say gimmick, but something that makes you stand out from other games in that same genre. They also canceled a Splinter Cell VR game, which sucks because fans have been asking for a new Splinter Cell game for quite a while. And I know they haven't been asking for the VR game. You know, we've been asking for a sequel to Splinter Cell, but you know what? I guess we're kind of just stuck with the remake for right now, and hopefully down the line, they'll actually end up bringing out a new one. Then they mentioned that there were 2 unannounced games that have been canceled, so I guess that's not really a big deal because no one knows about it, so you can't really look at it and say, oh, I wish that had come out. Some not as bad news, but still on the negative side, is delays. And so we were informed that Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was originally set for fiscal year 2023, which means by the end of March 2023, but it has now been pushed back to fiscal year 2024. So it'll be out by, March 2024? This sucks because it was originally rumored to be released this holiday. I mean, it did in the original trailer say 2022, so it would have had to have made it out this holiday. But I kind of knew with the lack of marketing that it was probably going to get delayed at least till next year. I just didn't know that it was going to go back possibly that far. But there's some good news, which is that there are multiple Assassin's Creed games in development. So if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, this is obviously the best type of news that you can get. And so the first one has a project codename Rift, which is rumored to be like an Assassin's Creed Rogue as far as in size, which to me, it might mean that they're taking it back to the original Assassin's Creed formula, which means a day one buy for me, because I kind of miss that formula. I mean, I like the newer games, but they kind of just a little bit too grindy for me. Then there is Project Red, which is rumored to be part of Assassin's Creed Infinity, and it will be set in the Asia region, according to Jason Schreier. So it looks like we're getting a fair amount of Assassin's Creed. A couple things to mention that haven't really been talked about is that nothing was said about Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is good news because it must be still in development. And this week, known insider Jeff Grubb also mentioned that a sequel to Immortals Fenyx Rising is being developed under the codename Oxygen. Jeff also mentioned that it won't be a direct sequel, but more of a spin-off. He made it seem like it's a Immortal Fenyx Rising type game, but will not actually have the same type of heroes and stuff like that. It's played out in a whole different area. It'll be based on Hawaiian Polynesian culture. He stated that it's in early development, pre-production, and probably won't be coming to like 2025 or beyond. So even though I have not gotten a chance to play Immortal Fenyx Rising yet, I do plan to get back to that one. That one's in my back catalog, so I will be getting around to it eventually. There's just so many games and not enough time. So now we have the Xbox update. The Xbox community has been asking for it, and it looks like Xbox has been listening. Discord integration has arrived on Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles, but it's only for insiders so far. This feature will be available to everyone in the coming months after it has been tested, because from what I hear right now, it's a little bit buggy. The signing up is a little bit cumbersome. So I'm good with waiting until it's actually ready to go for the masses. This will make it so you can chat with other people on other platforms when you're playing cross-platform games like Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite. But don't worry, they're not getting rid of Xbox Chat. It is still available for those of you who want to stick with it. Now I have Discord, but I haven't really used it. So let me know in the comments below, which do you currently use when gaming on Xbox? Xbox Chat, Discord Chat, or neither? And when I say Discord Chat, for those of you who don't know, obviously you can use that through your phone app, or you can actually use it through your computer while you're actually gaming on your Xbox. So there's ways to do it. People do it all the time, but obviously it's a lot more labor intense in order to get set up. Now there was a lot that released this week, whether it be DLC, full games, into Game Pass, into just the Xbox store, whatever it happens to be. There was a lot that released, but I'm going to talk about, to me, what was the two biggest. The first was the Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC, which I already talked about, and the second was As Dusk Falls. It's an interactive drama where your choices determine the path the story goes. A choose-your-own-adventure type graphical novel, basically, and the branching story paths show that your choices have cause and effect, and because of that, there are multiple endings. It's a mature narrative experience, so it's not something that you want to have little ones around while you're playing it. You know, it's not like just watching a movie and interacting a little bit. There's actually adult choices in there, so make sure to have those little ones gone if you actually want to check this game out. A lot of people have been finding that the choices that they make in that game kind of are representative, are the choices that they would make in their life experience. So what I've learned is I won't pee in someone's lemonade, and obviously you'll only get that if you've actually played the game. So your choices matter, everything has consequences. One of the big things that separate this one from other interactive story games is that there is a multiplayer element where up to 8 people can vote on choices, and obviously the top choice is the one that's chosen. It does have a weird art style. I can't really say it's bad because it doesn't really affect me. It's not, I guess, like one page and they talk like a comic book, and then another page and they talk. It kind of has movement in there, and some of it is fluid, and others is kind of that like skip different images. So it's different, but still it never really affected the whole story. It never really like took me out of being part of that story. And one of the best things is that it's in Game Pass, part of your subscription, so therefore you should definitely check it out. Now moving on to the delays. I've only heard about one delay that will affect Xbox this week, and the one that I'm talking about is Fall Guys. For those of you who play Fall Guys, this is not really that big of a delay, but it looks like Fall Guys Season 2 will be delayed according to Twitch user FG Pancake, who is on Twitter, and they usually have all the latest and greatest news all around Fall Guys. I mean, they got leaks, all that. So I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description for his Twitter account. So Season 2 was supposed to release on August 30th, but it has been pushed back 2 weeks to September 13th. Now I feel the same way about this delay as I do all other delays. If developers do it, it's out of necessity, not that they want to do it. Things just break, or they don't want to work as they should, and so it takes time to fix those things, so give it a bit more time in the oven. Moving on to the last category, which is rumors and leaks. Obviously I talked about the Platinum rumors, I've talked about the Ubisoft rumors, but here's just the rumor, which according to a job listing, Gears of War 6 is in development. I think most of us knew or assumed that Gears 6 was in development. I mean, come on, that's one of the biggest games that the Coalition puts out for Xbox. So the Coalition is the developers behind Gears of War 4 and 5. They took over from Epic Games after the trilogy ended. So on their website, they're looking to recruit someone who will help deliver, quote, a highly engaging, highly quality campaign, and that will be in the next Gears of War game. There is an article written up on Gaming Bolt that states that Gear 6, or whatever it is called, is still years out, and we should receive the other game that the Coalition has in development first. Both games are being built using Unreal Engine 5, which if you saw that Matrix tech demo for Unreal Engine 5, I mean, Unreal Engine, I know I worked with Unreal Engine 4, I checked it out, I did some stuff with it, messed around in it, and it was a great engine. But Unreal Engine 5, I mean, that's just top tier right there. And the Coalition, I mean, they make some of the best visual looking games, so I can't wait to see what they do with Unreal Engine 5. It was also mentioned in the Game Bolt article that the remastered collection of the Gears of War series is also in development, and I've been hearing that rumor for a while, so I guess it's only time will tell if that rumor is actually true. So that's it for this week. Hopefully I got you caught up on Xbox news. If you enjoyed it, all I ask is you hit that like button. I mean, I'm not even asking for you to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, obviously, that's something you're going to do or you're not going to do. Don't need to ask about that. But until next time, enjoy gaming. Assassinator's out.